Kerala State Branch. Sir, we are delighted to have you with us today. We are eager to hear from you. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, thank you, Aishwarya ma'am, for the nice introduction. Also extend my thanks to APT Kerala for giving me this wonderful opportunity. So, this session is mainly designed to take you through the publication journey. That is starting from the preparation of the manuscript to indexing. So, before we begin, let's have a quick disclaimer. The content of this presentation is only for education purpose, and these are my personal views as an experienced researcher and an author. Don't represent any position of my institution. And the main thing, the most important thing you need to notice that publication policies, the indexing criteria are continuously evolving day by day. So participants are encouraged to verify the requirements directly from the official journal website before doing the submission. So in this session, I will be dealing with the seven categories. That is, first part is the classification of scholarly articles. Second one is its essential components. Third, the digital tools and resources for preparing it. Then fourth, the strategy for journal selection. Then the workflow. Then how the peer review and editorial decision process is coming. Then the major challenges we are facing nowadays. These all things will be discussed today. And at the end of the session, you may be able to differentiate article categories and publication formats, structure manuscripts according to journal expectation, use digital tools effectively during preparation, select appropriate indexed journals, avoid common reasons for rejection, respond professionally to reviews. So to begin with, we will start with the different categories of articles. That means you need to know about the categories before starting the first word in writing the publication. So there are different categories. Which category we need to aim? That you need to first decide whether it should be a research article, whether it should be a review, a short communication, case reports, letter to the editor, hypothesis. These are the areas where we can start writing the publication. So the first thing is to understand which one we need to concentrate. All of you may be aware about the research article type, review article type, etc. The research article means we have some results. We have done some experiments and we came up with some results that need to be published, that need to be open to the other researchers. That type of article is known as research articles. Review are different types. Narrative reviews are there, systematic reviews are there, and bibliometric reviews are there. Narrative review means you have a theme and you are working on theme and making on the content. That is narrative review. Very difficult to publish in high impact journals, but in low impact Q3, Q4, it will get published. And the most important in review is a systematic review or a search, literature search. That is done in two ways. That is systematic review and a bibliometric review. Both are following a structured format. Systematic review means you, for example, you are searching or you are taking a data of last 10 years and doing a research on that, a statistical evaluation, which are the contents they mainly concentrate on, depending upon the theme you selected. For example, you selected lung cancer for the theme or a particular receptor on the lung cancer, and you need to do a research. So first thing is you need to collect it from the indexed databases like Scopus, PubMed, etc. And you need to do an analysis by removing the duplication, etc. Find out what are the literatures available on and what each researchers are talking into. In that, what they published about. So that you are making a perspective of your own and making it converting into an article. That means your overall review about that theme on these years of research. That is known as a systematic review. Normally, it need to follow both systematic and bibliometric review need to follow a guideline. I said right, a structured format is there. Normally, Prisma guideline need to be followed. There are other guidelines are also there. Normally used only the Prisma guideline. So like that, we can make a systematic review. But bibliometric review means you are not looking into the content, but how the articles are publishing, who are doing that particular research, who all are working on that particular area, what are the keywords they used, where this researchers belongs to, where what are the labs who are actively involved in research. So you are making a survey, but you will create the distribution graphs, different images, or you will present it in a tabular form. That is known as bibliometric review. Only the you are not looking onto the content. That is easy to make, but you need to know about some digital tools like Vox Viewer can be used for generating the images, or statistical analysis. Mainly, for example, you are making a distribution of the countries where this theme is published a lot, or you are making who are the researchers who are working on this area. So like that, some statistical analysis can be done and can be published as a research, published as an article. So these are the two types of, mainly three types are there: narrative review, then systematic review, and bibliometric review. Then next, third one is a short communication. That means you have some preliminary data, but you are not sufficient amount to publish it as a research article. Only a preliminary finding, which can't be take forward, or you need a publication at that time. Then you can directly communicate it as a short communication. That's a very concise and focused novel finding. That is known as short communications or rapid reports. Then case reports and case series can be done. Those who are working in hospital or you're doing patient care or pharmacy practice department can do. That is, case report is a special case in which we can report. That is based upon a single patient. Case series means you are categorizing different a series of patients and doing some study and reporting it. That is known as case series study. Then the most another thing is letter to the editor. You can write a letter to the editor, and that also will get published in the journal. For example, you can publish it in a high impact journal of medicinal research reviews. Impact factor is 11.4. You may not have an article, but you have some thoughts about some theme that can be directly published, or you have some very minute research data that also can be right to the editor. There is no format for it, just like a letter you can format that get published in that journals. That is known as letter to the editor. Then another thing is hypothesis. You are just beginning your research, and you have only, like I said, you thought about the research question, research hypothesis, etc. only. So that hypothesis you can publish it as an article. So that is an initial stage of a researcher, that a researcher can publish it as an article, and that can be done in hypothesis related article. That means there, I will show you one example. That is a journal known as Medical Hypothesis, which will publish these type. So whatever the publications showing in this session will be my own. So this I published in 2020 in Medical Hypothesis, right? So this is when one of my PhD students started her research, her idea with some figure pictorial representation, it got published in Medical Hypothesis. Not contain an extensive data, only the thought, the research question, hypothesis, etc. only are there, that got published in this journal. Then, as I said earlier, the next one is the letter to the editor. You can see the to the editor here. That is published in Therapeutic Drug Monitoring. That is other journal. We made some preliminary. That is not exactly the complete therapeutic drug monitoring of sorafenib, but we made some preliminary data about the treatment of sorafenib in hepatocellular carcinoma patients. Some basic HPLC studies were conducted, and that is communicated to the journal, and the name is Therapeutic Drug Monitoring. So these are the research and review articles you may be usually seeing, but these type of articles are also, these type of journals are also there, or these type of articles are also there in which we can publish in journals. So these are, first one is a hypothesis journal. Only one journal is, according to my knowledge available, that is medical hypothesis, but there is a particular format for it. You need to follow that format for publishing the hypothesis, and that can get published. Then we will move into the most important area, that are what are the components required for preparing a scientific manuscript. Everyone may know. First, it should contain a title, then abstract, keywords, introduction, materials and methods, results, discussion, conclusion, references, and supplementary file data is also there. So these are the things that need to be included in the journal, common general journal. Usually, research article will follow an IMRAD format, that is introduction, methodology, results, and discussion format. So always, but the review format will not contain materials and method, results, and discussion. It will be directly go to the content. But as I explained earlier, in the case of bibliometric analysis and systematic review, we can have a methodology. That means a methodology should be there in how we conducted the research, which are the keywords you used, then what are the databases you searched, that I said, right, Scopus, PubMed, Web of Science, etc. can be, we can do a search in that, we can download the article and can do the statistical analysis. So that will serve as a methodology, and the statistical data we will generate will leads to the result. So in bibliometry and systematic review, we can have these materials and method, results and discussion portion, but normally in research article, this is a structure, that is IMR ready format, that consists of an introduction, materials and method, results and discussion, and conclusion and future perspectives. We will discuss one by one. So this is a review article published in Life Science. Uh, the first part is the title part. Actually, during preparation, this one we will prepare last, after preparing the content, etc. Then only we will go for the title usually, but in the article it will come first. So you can see here, there is a title here, that is a title of the article here, and the next part will be the author. Then next part will be called as the affiliation of these authors. So the first part is a title, so that should be concise and precise. You can have a very short title. Then next part is the most important, the authors who involved in this. You can see there will be a first author and co-author and a corresponding author. You can see a male and a person image, right? So in this, there are two corresponding authors. And the first author is the person who is doing that particular article, who is responsible. Means we will assign some, if we are writing, we can be the first author. But usually if you are working in a group, the first author will be usually the student. Then the corresponding authors will be the supervisors. Then the other authors is known as the co-authors, and they are helping the first author for creating the article. That is the way in which it need to be uh, analyzed. That is the authors actually. There will be first author, co-author, and a corresponding author. A student can't be a corresponding author. The corresponding author should be the supervisor, the mentor, or the faculty who is in charge of it. So the first author can be the student. The why I told it is important is like that we need to do a sorry. We need to do a now most of the journals are asking for this credit authorship contribution statement. That means what is the role of each author need to be explained in the manuscript. And now there are some unethical practices like gift authors, ghost authors, etc. I'm not going into detail. So that should not be that should be avoided. So those who are really involved in the process need to be written as the author, and their affiliation need to be written below. So here, the first author is from Department of Pharmacy Practice. Two authors are from Pharmaceutical Chemistry, and one author is a doctor, belongs to Department of Medical Oncology. Usually, when we are writing, why a doctor is included is like that. It is a mainly medical related article. This is mainly a review article. So an expertise from the medical side will give you an impact in the publication, in accepting it also. So this is the first part, that is a title part, which include the title, the author, and the affiliation. Right. So we will move into the next part. Right. This is also another article, that is an research article. The title part is saying for review as well as the research. This also contain, you can see, it is published in EJPS, that is European Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences. The title is there, the authors are there, the corresponding author, the first authors are there, then their affiliations will be there. Then we will move to the next part. After the title part, next part is the abstract. That also we will prepare last. These all areas, the title and the abstract we will prepare after the completion of the contents only. So the next part is abstract. Abstract can vary, depends upon the journal. Can be a unstructured abstract, as you can see in the left side. It is an unstructured abstract, and in the right side you can see a structured abstract and also include a graphical abstract. So these three types are there. In here also graphical abstract is there in the left side, that is embedded along with the abstract. So there are unstructured abstract, structured abstract, and graphical abstract. Unstructured means you can directly write. Usually you should be very careful while writing the abstract. That is why I said you can make it at the end. After completing the article, you can write the abstract. The abstract should contain why you are doing this. That should be the first, the background first. Then come to the content. Then conclusion and your suggestion or future perspective. So that is the way it need to be arranged. Here the structured abstract content, if this is of a research article that consists of aim, materials and methods, results and discussion, then conclusion. So it is structured. If it is divided into different subheadings, then that is not a structure. Graphical abstract, it's a pictorial representation. So most of the articles will ask for graphical abstraction, sorry, graphical abstract along with the abstract, along with the text abstract. So that is the second part, abstract. Then after the abstract, you can see in the left, there will be keywords. There will be keywords. This is a review article. Right. In that, usually in research only, there will be a structured abstract format. In review article, there will be like unstructured format. You can directly write it. So here, this is a full-length article, not the complete one, but you can see this is a review article. First will be the title, then affiliation, then keywords, then abstract. Then you can start the content. After introduction, you can directly start the content. There is no IMR ready format. You can directly start the content. So review article structure looks like this. It can be titled as introduction, or you can title it as background of the study, etc. That varies, depends upon. Then you can directly go for the contents, right? But the research article will vary. This is a research article in which you can see yeah, after introduction, you can see here, right? You can see here, right? Here it is materials and methods. So then after that, results and discussion, then conclusion. So that format will follow in the research article. This is a research article, and good figures need to be generated, even if it is a review or research. You need to generate figures. Use a biorender or any other tools can be used for generating figures. Then while writing the content, the most important thing is the tense usage in scientific writing. These are the things you need to follow. I am not going to discuss each and every one, but the major point is use present tense for general truths and widely accepted facts. Use present perfect tense for recent research and ongoing trends. Then use the past tense for methods. If you are presenting some results or if you are quoting some work, then you use, for example, you used Aneesh et al. Conducted a study on this and this. Like that, if you are presenting in particular, use past tense. So this is the main difference in the tense usage between review and the research article. So while writing the content, you should take care of the usage of tense also. Then we will move to the conclusion and references. Right. So this is the next part. The you can see conclusion can be conclusion as such, or you can give some suggestions also. Conclusions and future perspectives. Right. And most important you need to note here is this part. That is, I will zoom it. This one. Right. Here you can see a declaration of generative AI usage. If you are using generative AI, my advice is that you can use generative AI for language editing, but should not use for generate ideas. You should not generate ideas through ChatGPT or Cloud AI or etc. But you can do a grammarly check or a language reframing, but it should be clearly declared. So after conclusion, there are so many things you need to declare. So first thing you can acknowledge your institution also. Yeah, like acknowledgement, you are acknowledging so also a university for providing facilities for doing the work. Like that, you can make a statement. Then now most of the journals are asking for this generative AI declaration. So here I made like during the preparation of the manuscript. This is a recent published article. During the preparation of this manuscript, the authors used AI tools, including ChatGPT, to assist with solely for language, grammatical refinement, etc. But all scientific ideas, data interpretation were conceived and verified by the authors. This you need to return very genuinely because there are so many tools to detect it that we will discuss later. If you used AI, that can be easily identified. Then, as I described earlier, credit ownership statement need to be there. And next is ethics statement that if you used some animals in your experiment, that need to be clearly that animal ethical committee order, number, etc. need to be mentioned. Then, if you are done that research with the help of funding, that also need to be declared. Then data availability. If you created some data, you need to give access to that particular data. That also statement also need to be mentioned after conclusion. Then comes the most important part, that is the references. There are two, mainly all journals follow two style of referencing. Mostly we used to see this type of referencing, right? That this type of referencing in the numerical order is known as the Vancouver style, because Vancouver designed it. Vancouver style, you can see 22 to 24, 20, 21. In numerical format, if you are doing the reference, then it is one of the Vancouver style, and it comes in the reference list like in numerical order. But the most important thing is here you can see 20, 21, 22, 20. Right. So think about if you are not mentioning 2021 here, and directly you are referring 22, 24, and here you are mentioning 2021, that should not be possible. You should do the reference in an order. So after 20 only, you can write 21. After 20 only, you can write 24. After 24, you can't write 20. But if it is cited earlier, then you can write. If 20 here, you already cited, then you need to include it in 20 to 24. That is possible, but if you didn't cited it, that means it should be cited in an order, in numerical order in the manuscript. That type of citing the reference. The right part is writing the reference, the left part is a citing the reference. So citing the reference in numerical form is known as a Vancouver style, and citing the reference in alphabetical form is known as a Harvard style. So here you can see the author name, editor, and year of publication. That is a way in which the reference need to be cited, not numerical. Here it will be author name, editor, and the year of publication. And you can see the list of references. It is written as alphabetical order. First name started with A, second B, C, D, etc. So that are the two types of references, but no need to worry. But nowadays, digital tools are there that will help you in doing the references, whatever be the style, or what you can even directly wrote the journal name, and that tool will do the references according to the journal format. Right. So these are some examples of articles. This is a review article. All right. Then this is published in ACS Omega, which is a research article. Then this in Journal of Biomolecular Structure and Dynamics, also a research article. Then this published in Future Medicinal Chemistry, which is also a research article. So these are the different types of articles that will come. Then, as I said earlier, there are different digital tools we can use for preparing the, which will help you to make the manuscript only, not will give you the manuscript. So the first one is the reference management. As I said earlier, there are mainly Zotero, then EndNote, etc. are there, and the most commonly used, I also use Menly. You need to install Menly in your laptop, and also install Menly as an extension in your Word format. Upload uh, the references or upload the articles in Mendeley, right? Then take the word, click on where you need to cite. There, this extension will directly cite the references. So Mendeley is very user friendly. You can use it. That just to download it, upload the references. That will help you in finding out the references. Also, that's the most important thing. The references we need to know where to cite and what are the references we because this is a long period process, right? So we need to know from where we searched it, etc. So the thing is that first you need whatever you are making the content from where you took it also need to be noted down. Otherwise, writing the reference, citing the reference will be very difficult. So Menly will help you in finding in citing the references. That is a very user-friendly platform. Next one is a plagiarism detection. Plagiarism is important. You can't directly copy and paste from different journals. You need to write in your own way. You can't create through ChatGPT and directly cut and paste in your Word. You can use ChatGPT for language training, but you need to type it. Right. These two are mainly used on identicate and Turnitin that will clearly determine the percentage similarity of AI as well as your plagiarism. It doesn't mean that 0% should be the plagiarism. Some journals, every journal have its own. Most commonly accepted is it should be 15% and less. Maximum 20%. If it is less than 10%, that will be good. Right. Maximum 20% similarity is allowable. But if it is more than 20, 25, 30, sometimes it may go beyond 60. So you need to check your manuscript for plagiarism as well as AI similarity before submitting to the journal. Otherwise, they will directly reject it if it contain more number of plagiarism, more percentage of plagiarism or AI similarity. The editor will directly reject. Then language editing tools are there. That is the most commonly used one is Grammarly. Then Gulbolt, another one is there. That can be used for language editing, but as I said earlier, don't cut and paste. Then statistical analysis tools are there for creating bibliometric analysis. Systematic review, etc. GraphPad, SPSS, RR, SPSS and RR less used, but GraphPad, Oaks Viewer, etc. can be used. Then writing support, AI-based summaries, overleaf, etc. are there for uh, supporting us. Then another thing is the most important thing, that is journal metrics. Which journal we need to select? What will be the quality of the journal? That can be analyzed using Simago website or by using Scopus, DOAJ, etc. So these are the major tools that is available for helping to convert our written document into a manuscript and ready for submission to a journal. That is so we prepared the manuscript. So the important thing you need to note down is don't cut and copy. You need to create your own data, not create through AI tools. Just use that for reframing the things, but you need to do the typing your own. After preparing the manuscript, after checking the plagiarism report AI similarity, then you can search for journals. Two ways you can do. After completing the manuscript, you can search for journals, or you can target a journal and prepare the manuscript. In both way you can do that. Searches can be done by using Scopus. Here you can see like subject area search is there, title search is there, etc. can be done. The most important thing you need to note down is this part, right? So here in Scopus the articles are divided into different quartile. You can see top 10%, first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, fourth quartile. You may be heard about Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So which area or which quartile our journal will belongs to, that all you can analyze through the Scopus page. Then other pages are also there. That means journal finder of Elsevier, journal finder of Springer. So here you can directly paste your abstract or your title depending upon the website uh, needed, we can directly paste it into it and search for journals. So for Elsevier, it is journal finder. Then Springer has its journal finder. Wiley, then Taylor and Francis, etc., has their own platforms for searching journals. Keep in mind that this journal finder will give you Elsevier indexed journals only. Springer, those indexed in Springer only. So like that, you can do a search by pasting title and manuscript abstract or the abstract alone or title alone. So that the thing appears is like this, you will get a list of journals which matches with your content. Right. So these are some examples in which you can review the impact factor, then the date of acceptance. These 5 days, 6 days you won't get. It will be displayed in the journal website, but minimum 2 months is required for getting into a final decision. Within 2 or 3 days or within a week, you will get like the first decision, whether it is rejected or send it for review. That is that we will get within a week or within 2 weeks. That depends upon the journal that we will discuss. So with this, you can identify which one will be suitable for our manuscript of the manuscript we prepared, right? Then you need to go to that particular journal page. For example, in the case of life science, you need to read the guide to authors and mainly read the aim and scope of the journal. Whether our article, we may have different ideas. We may write it in a different, according to us, the article we have written may be perfect, but whether it is meeting with the scope of the journal or not, that you need to identify. That you will get an idea from by reading the guideline for authors. So there it clearly explain the aim and the scope of the journal, which journal is which type of articles are accepted, and what will be the format of the journal. So you can refine your journal, your manuscript format according to the journal. And also you need to review the articles which are published in the journal and find out whether your manuscript will fit in the particular journal or not. Then only please submit your journal. Otherwise, it will directly get rejected. We have an experience like that. First, we will submit it in a journal. Directly, it got rejected. So I reviewed it and found it that it is not as per the format of this. So we next day we again changed the format. There are some conditions for writing the contents. So everything we changed and I submitted to the similar journal on the next day, and that went for review and get published. So you should check whether it is your manuscript fit to the journal also. Doesn't search a group of journal and directly submit it. So first read the guideline to others and thoroughly go through the articles that got published in the journal and find out whether the prepared manuscript is fit for the journal or not. Right. Then if it is apt for that particular journal, then we can start the submission process. The first part is the every most of the journals will contain. There is an option in the journal website, submit to journal. So if you click on the submit to journal, it will go to a manuscript management suite. So each journal have or each Elsevier have their own management suite. manuscript management suite. Then Springer has their own, like that. So this is a format of pharmaceutical research. There it is known as editorial manager. So we need to log in to it, and these are the process you need to do. That means first you need to click on submit new manuscript. So you have read the guidelines and you know what are the things you need to submit. Sometimes it will, I said right, sometimes some journals will ask for a separate title page and an anonymous manuscript. Right. Then some journals will ask for submitting figures, tables separately. So that all varies, depends upon the journal. And some in some journal cases, a cover letter is mandatory. Some may not. Some may ask for a declaration statement, a conflict of interest declaration statement, etc. And there you can do the submission process depending upon the guideline. First, you need to submit new manuscript. You can submit every day document they are asking. So that can be done not in a single day. You can continue it for days. That will be shown in incomplete submission. So at every day you can click on the incomplete submission and proceed with the submission process. So once it got submitted, that means submission waiting for approval is as once everything is uploaded in the website. After the last thing is you need to confirm. A PDF will be generated. You need to go through, verify the PDF, and if everything is find relevant, then you can approve the submission. Then only it will get submitted to the journal. So first you need to upload the documents. Then once everything, not only the manuscript data, you need to enter the author name, the funding sources, so many things you need to enter what they are asking. And you need to enter everything and just build. There is an option like that, build PDF for approval. So a PDF will be created and you need to review the PDF and just click on submission. You will get a congratulations message for submitting your manuscript successfully. So then the editor will review it, and if it is according to their format, sometimes the editor may directly reject, or if it is not meeting the scope of the journal, it may directly reject. Editorial rejection will happen. Otherwise, if it fit the journal, if some minor corrections are required, the submission will be sent back to the author by the editor to correct it and resubmit. Then once it is resubmitted, if it found to be relevant for sending for review, that will send for peer review process. That will be sent to the researchers who are working on that particular area. They will review and send back you with the comments. That comment will be can be rejection, right? Then or can be approved with a minor correction, or can be approved as such, or can be approved with the major revision. So we need to address the comment. So there is a format for writing the reviewer's comment. The only thing is that make tabular column. One will be the responses from the reviewer, and the next column will be the comment to the reviewers. Your response from the reviewer and response to the reviewer. So you can paste each comment and your responses and where you made the changes. That should be highlighted in the manuscript, and that should be described in the reviewer comment format also. So next time when you are submitting, this reviewer comment also need to be submitted along with the manuscript with the track changes. Whatever the corrections you made need to be reflected. Some articles will some journals will ask for a track change version as well as a cleaner version. So once your comments are satisfied, again it will send to the same reviewers. Once they accept it, it will come into submission with a decision. If it declined, it will get rejected. So that is the main process that I explained in this slide. That is manuscript rejection and submission. The last thing is you will get a mail like it got accepted. It, it is approved with the minor revision, approved with the major revision, or direct rejection. So these are the things happening through the reviewer process, right? Then, so once the article got published, your process will not stop. And this is the most important thing. That is the OSID. I will make it fast. Uh, Running out of time. So this is a most important thing. That is before submitting your manuscript, you should create an OSID. So this one is also the ID I generated. So this will be submitted along with during the submission process or during the login process, you need to submit this OSID ID. So that there may be different persons with my name, right? So I need to analyze, or I need to identify only my publication. There may be Aneesh T.P, there may be other Aneesh. If you go to Scopus and search Anish, you will get more numbers. So more persons. So this will help you to accumulate all your publication in a single. So this ID is important to identify the track of your track of your article after publication, citations, everything will get can be tracked through this ORCID ID. So that when it got indexed in the Scopus, so here you can see this is my Scopus page. Here I am. I linked my author ID with the Scopus page. So the after publication, you may have a lot of publication, but each database will have their own strategy in indexing. So Scopus, you can look into Scopus. I have only 51 documents. Then another one is sorry. This one is my Web of Science page. I have only 34 publication in Web of Science indexed. Then this is Google Scholar, which is freely available. Our all publications, I have some 80 publications. Uh, and H-index citations, everything will be very higher. So these are the three databases in which indexing will happen. That is, this is Google Scholar, and this is Web of Science, internationally recognized indexing platform. Scopus is also internationally recognized. If you are applying for a job position, Scopus or web indexed, if you are with a publication, if it is a criteria, if criteria for that particular job profile, if publication is required, they will search only in Scopus and Web of Science. So usually, most of the ranking accreditation agencies are directly taking the institution publications from Scopus for ranking the institution. In India, a widely accepted one is the Scopus, and Web of Science, as I said, it is internationally uh, accepted platform. Then Google Scholar is a free platform. Whatever be the article we are submitting to the journal, that will get indexed in the Google Scholar. So this you can compare the citations, H-index, etc. It will vary accordingly in Scopus. It will cite only or those citations, citations or references which are indexed in Scopus only will get highlighted. So that varies the H-index citations, etc. So coming to the last few slides, that is the ethics and challenges in the publication. The first thing is the timeline. Some journals will take years to get it published. It is not like that we are sending some or uploading some manuscript with the first revision, it will get accepted. We may need to do a lot of revisions. If you are submitting the first revision, another comment will come. Again, we need to submit it. There are different also, you need to note that there are different guidelines of submitting the data. For example, you may know about molecular dynamics. If you are doing a molecular dynamics, if you are submitting to an ACE journal, American Chemical Society journal, that dynamics should run up to 500 nanosecond, not to 100, up to 500 nanosecond. So that type of some guidelines are there for acceptance. So that will make a researcher more uh, means it's not usable for publishing. It is not easy for publishing a journal publishing an article in a journal. So the step of processing it is very huge. I said minimum 2 to 3 months will take. It is the easiest thing. 2 months or 3 months we will get a publication in some journals, but the maximum limit will be in 2 years, sometimes 3 years, etc. Then I forgot to tell you something. There are hybrid journals as well as open access journals. Hybrid journal means subscription will can. will be there. We can directly purchase, directly do the publication without paying any fee. Open access journals are there. If you're remembering my slides with the list of journals there, some dollars are mentioned. Some 3,000, 2,000 dollars are mentioned. That is a publication fee for that particular journal if it is open access. So it will be in lakhs. So now most of the journals are transforming into open access. Because publishing in open access will increase the citation because it will be accessible to all. Subscription mode means those who are subscribing to that particular channel only will get the article. So the citation will be very less. Then emergence of AI tools, that is a very important factor. Everyone is generating ideas, etc. through the genuinity of the research is lacking. Also, even the reviewers are giving comments after submitting your research in the chat GPT and generate the reviewer comment and will send to you. That is affecting predatory publishing. There are so many journals which are not indexed, and a lot of faculty as well as students are doing publication in that journal which are not indexed in Scopus or in Web of Science, etc. Then retraction. If you are a member of LinkedIn, there is a group known as Indian Research Watch. So if you go to that, you can see a lot of articles are retracting because they're sending back to the author because of errors or misconduct, etc., or plagiarism, or which may not be detected during the review process. So that means after publishing, also one can write a letter to the editor saying that this person is publishing some fake results. So if found it correct, then they will retract our article. Then sometimes preprints options are there. On submitted to a particular journal, it will directly go publish it as preprints in Research Square so that we can't. So that will increase the percentage of plagiarism. It is already available in the database. So that all will happen. So to conclude, I conclude with the 3 points. That is, encourage publication with integrity and originality. Choose the right journal and follow the submission norms. Aim for quality, not for just quantity. So publish with a purpose and inspire the future. So thank you all for your patient listening, and it is open to questions.
Aneesh sir,
Yes.
please make her a co-host, Aishwarya.
Oh, sir. Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, sir, for such an excellent and informative presentation. Your practical insights into scientific writing will definitely help our students begin their research journey with confidence. So we'll now open the floor for questions. If anybody have any questions or require clarification, please feel free to ask now or post your questions in the chat box.
Yeah, there are 2 questions in the chat box. I will read and comment on that. First question is, can you please explain how graphical abstract images can be created by AI so it can be published? Usually, my advice is not create it by using AI directly. There are tools to create graph pad or this bio render, or with a PowerPoint, you can create an image and try to publish it. Now the trend is like that we can create it through ChatGPT, but normally the rejection rate will be higher if we created it through ChatGPT. Then second question is, the review article should be disease or disorder based, or we may publish that discovery. Yeah, you can publish a review article with anything, but that should be novel. You should clearly explain the review article. What should be the aim of that review? That need to be explained. So there should be a cause for doing that particular review. And then it will get automatically published. The last part of the introduction should be the aim of the review. Then how to reduce the plagiarism. That these tools are required, that are paid softwares, that is Authenticate and Turnitin. If you upload it in the in the software, before submission, you will get a report in that clearly mentioned from where the plagiarism has come, so that you can reduce the content or you can reframe the content and reduce the plagiarism. Then please share the PPT. I will surely share the PPT in the group. How many articles to read to publish a review article? Actually, minimum 100, but that depends upon the theme of the research. Recently, I published a systematic review with 3 articles because only 3 articles were available on that. So that is also possible. I have done a systematic review, that is a Prisma guideline is followed and submitted. That depends upon the theme you selected. Right. I think that are the questions, right, Aishwarya?